Plaintiff Vanessa Smith is suing her ex-husband for back taxes and medical bills. Vanessa says the defendant started drinking heavily and accusing her of cheating. When she tried to leave, she claims the defendant loaded his gun in front of her and their children and threatened to shoot the plaintiff's car. Defendant Richard Smith denies threatening the plaintiff with a gun. He claims she was cheating on him, and he found emails to prove it.
Remain standing. The Honorable Judge Jeanine Pirro presiding.
Hello, Doug.
Hello, Judge. Please be seated.
Vanessa Smith is suing Richard Smith, her ex-husband, for back taxes and medical bills. So why are we here today?
Well, Your Honor, I met Richard first in January of 2001. We hit things off great. We were soon married 9 months later in September of 2001.
Okay.
Money was always a problem for us. We were always fighting and arguing. He would drink heavily with one of our roommates, I believe, to try and forget our problems that we were always having. I became pregnant with our son, and 6 months later, we decided to go ahead and separate. We were separated for about a year. In September of 2004, I felt that I wanted to give it another try, that I had loved him, so we got back together. I then came pregnant with my daughter, Dakota. Shortly after we got back together, Richard got hurt at work. This put a terrible strain on the marriage. A week after my daughter was born, he had ankle surgery. So I was at home with a 1-week-old baby, a 3-year-old, and a husband who unfortunately could not move. The marriage got even worse. We were always fighting and arguing about money because we were unable to make all of the bills. So we started to move around. We went and stayed with family, friends, wherever we could, basically to help keep the costs down. Once we were able to live together on our own, things take a turn for the worst. There was more fighting and more arguing once again about
What
money.
are you arguing about, Richard?
After I got injured at work, I think being off work for 3.5 years definitely took its toll on our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So
you couldn't get on your foot? What was wrong?
I had broken my ankle, and I had ankle surgery to have my ankle fused.
Right.
And it didn't take. It came apart, and so I had 4 more surgeries to have my leg repaired.
Are you getting disability? Are you getting Social Security?
I was getting workers' compensation.
So you got some money in.
Yes.
What are you spending money on that you're fighting about money?
Unfortunately, he has a really bad habit of going to the bar and drinking all night and then coming home smelling of alcohol.
Occasionally, I would go out with friends, and yes, we would partake of alcohol, but it wasn't a nightly occurrence as she's trying to make it seem.
Was it a weekly occurrence?
It wasn't even weekly, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything else going on in the marriage?
After that, in February of 2008, I took a 2-week business trip. When I came home...
So you're working now?
Yes.
I thought
I've
you
been
were
working
home with the kids.
Once we got back together, I had started to work about 5 months prior to our reconciliation. So I'm trying to promote myself to a store manager, and in that, you have to go through 2 weeks in a classroom setting.
Okay.
So I was gone for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I come back, and he starts accusing me of cheating. And things.
Did you?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. She had left her email account open, and I found an email from her to another guy telling him how he had beautiful brown eyes, and he rocked her world.
I went on the trip in February. I believe the email he's referring to is from May of that year. And that's not what the email said.
What did it say?
That I thought the guy was nice looking. He was a writer. And so I'd read some of his writing online, and I was responding to his writing.
Do you have the email?
I do not, ma'am.
Okay, but she's admitting to it.
Yes.
So are you telling me that you didn't know this guy? You just said, you rock my world?
We'd been talking for a while. I did not say you rock my world. The most I would have said was he had nice eyes.
The email said you have...
Based on the back of the book or what? Did you meet him?
His picture online.
What's going on? Is she having an affair with this guy?
I believe she was. I don't have proof.
An affair?
No, I was not.
Okay. So that caused a problem in the marriage, yes? No.
Yes.
Okay. So where do we go from here?
One night we got into a really big argument. It became a shoving match. I wanted to leave with the children. He grabbed the shotgun that we had, took it out to the living room, and proceeded to load it in front of my children.
Told me that if untrue, Your
we
Honor.
left, he would disable my vehicle. So of course I did not leave. 2 months later, another argument occurred.
Whoa. Did you call the police?
I did not at that time.
The guy is loading a shotgun in front of you and your 2 little kids, and you don't call the police?
He is a manipulator, and he...
Yeah, well, he may be a murderer too. I don't know. Why aren't you calling the cops?
I called the police and asked them the next day how long I had to file a report, and they told me, but I did not ever make an official report.
What did they tell you when you asked how long do I have to file a report that my husband loaded a gun or a rifle in front of my kids?
I had 1 year from the date of the incident.
Oh, that's hogwash. You can file a report anytime you want. Anytime you want. They're not going to act on it if it's too late because they're not going to believe you and wonder why you're filing it so late. But anyone who's got a problem has an obligation to document it because something may happen down the line. All right? And that's just stupid. All right? You're smarter than that. Why is she saying this?
To make me look bad.
She doesn't need to make you look bad.
It's
You
something
two got
she
divorced?
does.
Did you get divorced?
Yes, we're divorced, but Vanessa tries to smear my name through the mud at any
You paying
chance she
child
gets.
support?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How often do you see the kids?
I see my children 1 weekend a month, and then I see them when Vanessa decides to let me see them, or when she needs somebody to watch the kids and doesn't want to have to pay a babysitter.
How old are the kids now?
6 and 3.
Okay. I'm going to recommend you do a little adjustment in your head. Not when she wants you to take care of the kids when she doesn't have a babysitter, but it's an opportunity to see your children. Stop being so negative. If she's got something else to do, thank God you get to see your kids more.
And that's how I look at it, ma'am.
Well, that's not the way you presented it to me. It was a very angry, edged, you know what? When she needs a babysitter, she calls me.
It's a very touching subject with me when it comes to my
Well, get over it,
children.
because you got 2 kids who are going to pick up on this right away. Now, why are we here?
For back IRS taxes and for hospital bills.
What happened?
There were actually 3 different incidents within where the children had been taken. One of them had been taken to the emergency room. I believe one is from when my daughter got a hairline fracture on her ankle. And the other 2 were from my son. They went to collections because we could not pay them at the time. And then there was one from my son when he got bit by a dog in the face. We had taken him to the emergency room for that. Mm-hmm. And the other incident was just when one of them had been sick and they had a cold and the doctor's office wasn't open.
Was this during the course of the marriage, Vanessa?
Yes.
All right. So, by the way, how did the marriage ultimately end?
In divorce.
There had been another incident like the first one that I spoke of where the weapons were used again. He threatened to either take the children or take himself out to the desert and shoot himself. So I went to call for help and he shoved me out of the way.
That is a whole-faced lie.
Ripped the cell phone out of my hand, threw it against the wall about 6 inches above my daughter's head and broke it so that I could not call for help. So I went for the kitchen phone. He shoved me out of the way and ripped it out of the wall so I could not call for help that way. We then spent the entire evening on the living room couch, him yelling and screaming and belittling me in front of my children all night. I then forced him to leave by telling him that if he left, we would try and work things out. Once he had left, I went and filed for divorce.
Did you call the police?
I did call them the next day, and they told me that if I didn't have any evidence, there was nothing that the DA could do.
You did have evidence. You had phones pulled out of the wall. You just told me about it.
I was too shaken. I was just happy that he was gone.
You know, the problem is that you're lucky you got away with it once. Then it happened again. There's no question it's going to happen again. If a guy pulls a gun on you once, he's going to pull a gun on you again. And you haven't made any record of this. Shame on you.
I know that is
Not
my
just
fault.
for you, but for your kids.
Yes.
Do you own a gun?
No, ma'am.
Do you own a rifle?
No, ma'am.
Do you own a shotgun?
Nope.
What's she talking about?
I did own the guns, and I have sold them.
Why?
Vanessa wanted the guns out of the house, so...
Who are you?
Your Honor, I am Richard's girlfriend.
Okay. Tell me your name and why you're here.
My name's Amy, and I'm here because I'm witness to Vanessa's phone calls to Richard, her yelling at him repeatedly about these so-called bills that he's never seen. I'm also here to be witness to him asking her to please give him the copies of these bills. Mm-hmm. And she never has.
Has he put it in writing? Has he put it in an email? Has he put it on anything?
I did not, Your Honor, because there was a restraining order that said I could only contact Vanessa in regards to our children.
How'd you get this restraining order?
I filed the protection order in September of last year after his verbal threats.
I had threatened to beat up the person she was having an affair with.
Oh, then you call the cops. Why is there supervised visitation, Vanessa?
There was no supervised visitation. We had a drop-off spot not at my home because he was not allowed there.
Okay. Why is he not allowed at your home?
Because he would harass me. There was an incident where I did call the cops and they came because he was beating on the front door after the divorce had already been final.
That's not true, Your Honor. The incident she's talking about the guy that she was having an affair with had showed up at the house.
Were you
about
divorced?
About a week. No, we weren't.
Is this the author?
Yes.
Oh.
And
Did you end up dating the author?
Yes.
and they actually live together now. So
You live together with the author?
Yes, I do.
All right. Has he ever seen the medical bill?
The collection notice, yes, I gave him a copy of it.
No, he's saying he wanted to see the hospital bills.
The hospital
Never-
bills from
no.
when we were married. I'm suing him for the collection notice that I was served upon for 3 hospital bills combined.
All right.
and
Now let's
I never
see.
received a copy of the collection notice either, Your Honor. She hasn't provided me with a copy of the
Do you have any
taxes.
proof that you gave many of this stuff?
I do not.
Okay, good. Give me what you have. You may sit down. Thank you for being here today.
You go, Judge.
Thank you. Okay. Justice Court of Reno. What is the date of your divorce?
July of 2008.
Okay. And does anyone have the divorce decree?
I have the copy of the entire packet.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. All right. Anything else you want to say?
As far as the tax bill, Your Honor, Vanessa always prepared our taxes and filed them online. So if there was a mistake in the taxes where income didn't get reported, I don't know how she can come after me for that.
All right. The issue for the court is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for back taxes and medical bills. I specifically asked about when the medical bills were incurred, and they're primarily in 2006. The divorce is in 2008. But what's interesting about the divorce decree is the division of debts. Both Vanessa and Richard Smith initial the divorce decree that says that all of the community debts have previously been divided, and each is to keep those debts assigned to them and hold the other party harmless from the debts. If you want to sue him for money, you have to go back to the divorce court and say, I want to relitigate this issue. So the bottom line is that your claim has to be dismissed, that the case goes back to the divorce court that handled it in the first place. But let me just give you a piece of advice. You get involved in any criminal activity or any kind of threats to a woman, you're going to have a lot of trouble in the future because it's already a matter of record that she's making complaints and she's gotten orders of protection against you. You've got 2 kids. Try to make it as easy as you can, in spite of the fact that you can't stand each other on those children. So ordered. Thank you.